Michigan fans, you know what time it is. When the lights go out, get your cell phones, get your flashes ready, and it's light up Christ. Let's go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chrysler Center. My name is Zach Corson, alongside Dan Levine. This is another presentation of WCBN Sports. You're listening to our coverage of your Michigan Wolverines men's basketball team against the Elon Phoenix. Coming into this one, Michigan's record is 2-0 with a hard-fought 10-point victory on Tuesday over Creighton, and the Phoenix come to Ann Arbor, sporting a record of 2-1 following their loss in a lopsided 23-point loss to Georgia Tech on Monday. After the surprisingly tight victory over Appalachian State to open the season, the Wolverines looked promising in their last game and took care of business against Creighton, a fringe top 25 team coming into the season on the AP poll.
Yeah, they did take care of business against Creighton, and Elon is coming off a tough loss against Georgia Tech, so we're going to see how Elon bounces back, if they can match up against this tough Michigan team. And I'm looking for Michigan to get off to a good start in this one. They got off to a poor start against Creighton in the last one. I think that should have been one of the key messages that Juwan Howard gave to this team throughout the week leading up to this game. Let's get out ahead early. Let's start off strong, and then let's just take the lead and just hold it.
Yes, well, it was in that game, the Michigan offense got off to a roll, but so did the Creighton Blue Jays. Both teams scoring a great amount of points in the first half, with Creighton leading 41-38. So as you said, the poor play came on the defensive end for Michigan in that game, whereas in the second half they buckled down and only allowed 28 points there to come out with a 10-point victory.
That's right, and they made that defensive switch at halftime, so hopefully they can keep that defensive momentum at the start of this game as well, so that they can keep going. They can start off strong in this one and not wait till the second half like they did against Creighton.
And something we saw in the second half of that game, maybe a little switch, you may say, was Isaiah Livers really giving a lot on the defensive end to go with his offense. He had 4 blocks against Creighton, something you don't really think of when you think of your small forward, or expect when you think of your small forward. But he's one of those most versatile players on this Michigan team, and showed it in the second half there.
That's right, and Isaiah Livers has pretty much always been known for his good defensive ability. What's new is his offensive scoring. I mean, the season is still young. We've only seen 2 games so far, but he's done good at the offensive end, done well at the offensive end through 2 games. We're going to look for him to keep that up against Elon tonight. And of course, he is a defensive mainstay of this team, so he will look to continue on the defensive end as well.
Yes, Isaiah Livers has helped make up for the loss of Michigan's top 3 scorers last year in Jordan Poole, Ignas Brazdeikis, and Matthews leaving to the NBA. He's been the most consistent scorer and the go-to guy early, with Xavier Simpson dishing off the assists to him. Livers in that last game against Creighton had 22 points on 8 of 12 shooting, and then he added 14 points in the season opener. So he's not afraid to pull the trigger.
And that's really the story of this 2019 Michigan team, is they've lost so much of their offensive power from last year till now. So there's really a big opportunity for guys like Brandon Johns, David DeJulius, Colin Castleton coming off the bench. This team is in need of offensive production. So the opportunity is there. It looks like Eli Brooks has been there so far, taking advantage of that opportunity. I'm looking for other guys to step up in that role, because they have this platform here for them as those guys have left, like you mentioned. So this is a good opportunity for young guys that are looking to make a name for themselves and they haven't yet, and playing for a team like Michigan that is lacking a lot of that offensive firepower. This is a great opportunity for those guys.
So you mentioned Eli Brooks there stepping into this new role, this starting role this season. He's played 34 minutes in each of the games. He scored 24 against Appalachian State on 7 of 15 shooting and 5 of 11 from 3. So that was a tight game that no one really saw coming. Only an 8-point win for Michigan. So without his production there, you have to wonder how Michigan would have fared in that contest. And then in the last game against Creighton, he scored 7 points, not as much as the 24 in the game prior, but he did contribute 4 assists.
And as long as he can contribute in some sort of way. Obviously, he's not going to score 20-plus points in every game, especially, Eli Brooks is a junior, but he didn't see the floor a whole lot as a sophomore last year, and he definitely didn't see the floor as a freshman. So this is it's new for him, getting this playing time. So for him to put up 24 points in that season opener against Appalachian State was surprising, but even though he didn't score as much against Creighton in the second game, he's still producing 7 points, 4 assists. He's producing on the defensive end as well. So as long as he continues to do what he does and continue to build that confidence, I think is one of the biggest things for him. And keep shooting, having no hesitation, and I think he's going to have a big season for this team.
And a starter we haven't really focused much on and kind of overlooked really here is John Teskey, who has transitioned into more of the number 1 type guy or number 2 behind Livers and maybe number 3 behind Xavier Simpson, but Xavier Simpson looks to pass. John Teskey has scored 17 points in each of the 2 games with 17 points and 13 rebounds against Appalachian State, scoring the first 11 points in that game, and then scoring 17 points and grabbing 7 rebounds in the Creighton game, just making his presence felt.
That's right. I mean, Teskey is one of the most underrated big men, I think, in college basketball. So far this season, he's been offensively consistent, as you said, scoring 17 points in each of the first 2 games. He's a defensive powerhouse. He's had 3 blocks in each of those 2 games, so he's been nothing but consistent.
And as we tip off here, John Teskey loses the tip to Elon's right, and now it is Sheffield. Sheffield's Elon's main scorer. He's a graduate transfer from Stanford University.
That's right, and for Michigan on defense, controlling and limiting Marcus Sheffield is going to be one of the biggest keys in this game. Because so far this season, Marcus Sheffield has dominated, has been the go-to guy on the offensive end for this Elon team. So we'll see how we can stop him tonight.
And a hook shot there from Poser misses, and it's Teskey with the rebound as Simpson pushes it up back to Livers, and Livers walks. Was on the left wing as Michigan goes from the left to the right in their white tops and white shorts, and Isaiah Livers walked before he dribbled there.
Yep, not a good start there for Isaiah Livers, but he's just finding his footing in this one.
And now Elon with the ball as McIntosh passes to Poser on the elbow. Back to McIntosh, now on the left elbow. Weaving around is Sheffield. Sheffield, he too walks, guarded there by Eli Brooks.
So far in this one, it's the fundamentals that are doing these 2 teams wrong. So for Michigan, they just need to slow the pace, pay attention to their fundamentals, feed John Teskey, take their time on offense, move the ball around, find an open shot, and not feel too panicked.
Now Michigan's first offensive possession of the day, John Teskey with the ball on the left block, posting up, back out to Xavier Simpson on the left wing, back to Adrian Nunez, top of the key. Now Eli Brooks has it on the right wing. To the corner is Isaiah Livers, and that's a foul called on Poser on Elon. Guarding John Teskey there, it is Michigan ball.
And what you saw there on that first offensive possession for Michigan, they gave the ball down low to John Teskey. As soon as he caught the ball, they were double teaming him because John Teskey is pretty much going to outsize any player on this Elon team. That's what they have to do if they want to limit John Teskey tonight.
Xavier Simpson inbounds the ball from the baseline. Isaiah Livers with the ball in the left corner now. Teskey posting up, and 2 possessions, 2 walks for the Blue.
That's 3 travels on the game.
And 4 early possessions, 3 of which have ended in a traveling violation. Now Elon ball, McIntosh straight away top of the key, dribbling, guarded by Xavier Simpson. Pass to right. Sheffield with the ball now, weaving, pull up, elbow, bang. 2-pointer, Marcus Sheffield II. Xavier Simpson past Eli Brooks now on the right wing as Michigan controls the ball.
And Eli Brooks is going to have to contribute in this one from outside.
Adrian Nunez pulling up for 3 from the left wing, and it's no good, clanging off the rim as he had 3 shot attempts in the last game, missing his first here.
That's right, and Adrian Nunez has not got a whole lot of minutes. He's been in the starting lineup in every game so far, but he only played around 10 minutes in each of the first 2 games. So he's going to look to his strong suit is his shot. So he needs to shoot the ball more, and maybe he'll start to see the ball fall, and then he'll get some more playing time.
And on that last possession, it was McIntosh for Elon missing the runner, and John Teskey rebounding it, passing it to Xavier Simpson, who tried to push it up the floor fast and got a blocking foul on Elon. So it's now Xavier Simpson taking the ball out from the baseline. Inbounding to John Teskey. Now in the short corner is Simpson, guarded by 2, pass to John Teskey, and John Teskey dives on the floor for it, and it'll be a jump ball as everyone, it seemed, was on the floor there.
Good hustle from the big man, John Teskey there, getting dirtied on the floor.
For a big man there, it's easier for the pass to come from the top.
Right.
As other players are so close to the floor there, you have an advantage with John Teskey standing at 7'1".
Especially with this opponent in particular, he's outsizing in height and in ended weight. You know, any defender they're going to put on him, and that's why you saw them double teaming him there on the first possession. So Xavier Simpson's got to throw the ball up high to John Teskey to receive and put him in a position where he can work with the ball. And Xavier Simpson needs to get the ball out of that short corner. They're going to trap him in there as an undersized guard. They're going to trap him in the short corner on those baseline inbounds all game long. So for Xavier Simpson, feed the ball up to John Teske up high and let him do his thing.
And now Michigan's taking the ball out. Xavier Simpson gets the ball back from Teske after
That's
he
a good
inbounds it
pass.
and scoops it up for good. For 2, it is good.
And you see Simpson and Teske, they've been playing together for quite a while at this point. They've got good chemistry. They know what each other is thinking, and they play together very well.
And that's Marcus Sheffield II getting the 2 points there for Elon on the runner on the left side. And now Michigan ball, Eli Brooks in the left corner. Leading around, screen from John Teske, pull up, bang. 4-4 now with 17 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the first half. 2:35 gone.
And you love to see that from Eli Brooks, getting the ball on the floor, dribbling around into a smooth upward shot from the elbow, not off balance. It's wide open. It's a great shot for Eli Brooks to take. And shot selection for him has been an issue. So you love to see a good shot selection.
Now
from
it's
Brooks.
Sheffield on the left wing, driving to the right side, and he misses the shot, and it is a block by John Teske and a foul on Poser. That's Poser's second of the day. Loose ball foul there after the rebound by John Teske.
And that's great defense from John Teske. And he's been doing that so far and this season, and he's doing it again tonight. Not fouling, keeping his feet planted on the ground, using his wingspan, and blocking these shots around the rim.
John Teske is Michigan's only true center, standing at 7'1". The next tallest player on Michigan is Colin Castleton. You could say he's a backup center at 6'11".
Right. Oh, he's listed as a forward, but he'll probably come in for a few minutes to give Teske a rest.
And it's another foul for Elon there as Xavier Simpson was trying to inbound to feed John Teske there from the top of the key into the bottom at the right block. And it is a foul as Michigan will take the ball out on the baseline. That's Elon's 4th foul already in the first 3 minutes and 11 seconds.
And those fouls are a product of feeding Teske. You got to feed Teske the ball because they really can't match up with him. And that's going to be a key to get them in foul trouble. Feed John Teske.
Nunez pulls the trigger there but misses on the left wing. He is 0 for 2 on the day. And now it's Elon ball, McIntosh on the right elbow, trying to feed the ball to Sheffield, and it goes out of bounds. Michigan basketball. Xavier Simpson now with the ball, gets a screen from Teske, pulls up top of the key, no good. Teske tries to get the board. Isaiah Livers saves it and gets around, but then he throws it away, and Elon has the ball now. Sheffield shoots from the left wing, misses, and Isaiah Livers with the rebound.
And I'd like to see Isaiah Livers get a little bit more involved, but he hasn't seen the ball much in his hand so far, and you can see here he's trying to penetrate off the dribble and make something happen.
Teske posting up on the right block and misses as the ball touches every part of the cylinder but goes out.
And like you were saying earlier with John Teske, he's really the only true center on this team, so he's going to have to carry the load and play a lot of minutes. Colin Castleton will come in, Brandon Johns will come in, but they won't really produce that much in the way of minutes or scoring. So John Teske has a lot on his plate tonight.
And there was a missed shot there by Elon, and it'll go out of bounds off of Michigan, though, so Elon will retain possession as we go to our first media timeout of the day. And early on in these first 4+ minutes, what have you seen from this Michigan team that we can improve on?
Well, coming out of the gate, they seem like they were a little bit on edge. And it seems that after a few possessions, they've settled down a little bit. They're moving the ball, they're taking their time, they're feeding the big man down low, and they're getting good shots. On defense, they're staying with their man. They're not doing anything too crazy, not reaching, not jumping, because they know that they are oversizing them, and they know that they're a better athletic team on defense. So far, they look good. They're just going to continue to lock it down on defense, and they should be in good shape.
So Elon last season didn't have the best season, going 11-21, 7th in the Colonial Athletic Association. But so far this year, they're 2-1, with the loss coming in a lopsided affair against Georgia Tech on Monday. But something to note is they have a new coach this year, Mike Schrage, who's, as I said, he's with his first year on the sideline for Elon. And he joins the men's basketball program after spending the last 2 seasons as an assistant coach at Ohio State under Chris Holtman there. But it's not like he's a nobody. He's had a lot of experience as he worked with two of the best college basketball coaches of all time, spending 9 seasons with Mike Krzyzewski at Duke and 4 seasons at Indiana when Bob Knight led the Hoosiers.
That's right. And Mike Schrage, it's his first season here at Elon, so coming off of a bad season last season, he's looking to switch things around. So far, they're 2-1. They look good. And as you said, he's coming from a great schools that are basketball powerhouses. You know, the Ohio State Buckeyes. He also served as an assistant coach at Butler and Stanford. So he's been around this game at higher levels than Elon. So he's going to bring some of his knowledge and expertise to this team and hopefully turn around a program that's been struggling in recent years past.
And in addition to Mike Schrage, as you all know, we have a new head coach here at Michigan in Ann Arbor with Juwan Howard taking the reins of this Michigan Wolverines program, returning to Ann Arbor for his first collegiate head coaching job after spending the last 6 years in Miami with the Heat in the NBA.
Yup, Juwan Howard returning to his former university where he used to play as a part of the Fab Five. He spent some time down there in the NBA working for the Miami Heat, and now he's coming back. So 2 first-year coaches for these 2 teams. So far, they look like they've been good so far in this season, and we'll look for Juwan Howard to continue his momentum.
Something that I've noticed with Juwan Howard here at Michigan, 2 things. One, he's brought an up-tempo style of offense. They're always trying to run and gun and pass the ball up the floor as we see Xavier Simpson always pushing the ball, passing it with the outlet pass, and just pushing it, getting the blocking foul early on, and just trying to push in transition. And also he's kept Coach Beilein's stingy defensive scheme as it worked in past years. So if it ain't broke, why fix it?
If it ain't broke, why fix it? That's right. And they have been pushing the ball, which they should be doing because it's advantageous to them. They have a lot of really quick guards. Xavier Simpson is short. Eli Brooks is kind of short, but they're quick. And so pushing the ball, putting the ball in their hands off of a miss by Elon, that will be advantageous to get fast break points.
And we're back from the timeout now as Elon's McIntosh airballs the jumper inside the arc on the left wing, and it goes out of bounds, Michigan basketball.
And that's great shot contestation. That's the good defense that Michigan has been playing and needs to continue to play. Contest shots, don't jump, don't foul, just use your wingspan, use your arms, and contest their shots. Run them off the line.
Xavier Simpson with the ball now, getting a screen on either side from Livers and Teskey. Now on the left wing, and trying to feed it to Teskey on the left block, and does. Cross-court pass to Brooks on the right wing, pull up, shoot, and it's good. He sinks it for 3 from the right
you
wing,
can see
7-4.
Eli Brooks, he has no hesitation as he used to last year as a sophomore. Now he's taking shots, no hesitation. He has a defender right in his face, no hesitation, sinks the 3-point shot.
Didn't even think twice about that one, as Elon with the ball now, and Poser with the ball on the left side, passes to the left wing, right, dribbling to the center of the court, back to the right wing, resetting the ball is Wooten. Wooten pulls up from the right elbow and misses. John Teskey diving for the board, but isn't able to get it as Elon kicks it back out, and now it's McIntosh resetting.
And that's great defense. Elon is struggling to get even into the paint. Anytime they do get into the paint, it's a very heavily contested shot. And
that's an off-ball foul by Eli Brooks, as Wright was trying to go down there and get position on the low block. And we have our first substitution of the day as David DeJulius comes in for Adrian Nunez for Michigan. David DeJulius is kind of like the Lou Williams type, as that's kind of the role that he's looked to play here for this Michigan team. A little scoring off the bench, but he does provide a lot of defense for this team.
And he's going to be the 6th man this season is what it looks like. He's going to be the first guy to come off the bench, and he needs to score more. There's an opportunity on this team for offensive production. It's what they've been lacking. David DeJulius has a good opportunity here to make something happen on the offensive end.
And Wooten there made the short corner jump shot from the right corner, as it is 7-6 Michigan now. Michigan ball, DeJulius with the ball at the top of the key. Gives it to Livers. Livers on the right block now. Gives it back to Simpson. Curling around, driving, and gets it poked loose, and that'll be off of the Elon defender. Michigan will retain possession on the baseline.
And you're seeing a lot of great off-ball movement here from Michigan, setting screens left and right, and that's how they're moving off the ball, looking to get open using the screens rather than using on-ball screens, which they did in their couple opening possessions with Simpson and John Teskey.
5 seconds remaining on the shot clock, as DeJulius inbounds it to Simpson. Pass to Livers on the right corner, 2 seconds, 1 second, gets it off, and misses on the step back jumper for 3. No good. Michigan leads 7-6. It is Sheffield now with the ball back in for McIntosh for Elon. Gets the screen on the right elbow, back out is Poser. Poser gets the screen, driving on the right side, poked loose by Teskey. Michigan trying to push it now. They have a 2-on-1 as Simpson back out and loses it, passed it away, looking for Eli Brooks there on the right wing, and just threw it to an Elon defender.
And you'd love to see Eli Brooks there push all the way down the court, really finding that corner instead of the wing, because when Xavier Simpson is driving under the bucket and in the air looking for a place to kick it out, you'd love to have Eli Brooks wide open in the corner.
And Elon now getting the runner is Marcus Sheffield II, as we've heard his name a lot. He's their top player by far.
Oh, he's the guy that, like I said at the start of the game, he's going to be a key for this Michigan team if they want to win this game. You got to control their number one star player. He's through 2 games this season, he's been the number 1 scorer for this Elon team, and I don't expect anything to change.
And Eli Brooks there lost the ball, and Elon trying to get the fast break layup, but no good as the defense goes back and stops it. And David DeJulius pushing it now. Back out to Eli Brooks on the left wing, shoots, misses the 3, and it's Elon with the rebound.
And I'm more than okay with Eli Brooks taking that shot. It was quick in the shot clock. There was only 1 pass and shot, but it was open, and that's what he's here to do, is take 3-point shots. Because when he starts hitting, he's a weapon.
Sheffield pulls up from 5 feet out and misses. DeJulius with the rebound now. DeJulius getting the screen from Teskey, not using it. Passes out Livers in the corner for 3, no good. Elon with the rebound. Michigan has not scored in 3 minutes here.
It looks like they may be settling for easy outside shots rather than attacking the rim, giving the ball to Teskey down low first. They might want to slow down on the offensive end, move the ball around, feed John Teskey, and try and get a more open shot.
And Wright passes it down to Hannah. Hannah with the jumper on the left wing, and it's good. For 2, Elon winning 10-7, and a timeout Michigan here with 11 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in this first half. Michigan's won for their last 7, leading to Elon going on a 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 44 seconds.
Yup, and they just need 1 basket to find their rhythm again. And this is essentially what happened during the Creighton game a few days ago. They fell behind early. It wasn't quite as bad. Against Creighton, they fell down 8-0 to start the game. So here they're only down 10-7. But it's essentially the same thing that happened against Creighton. They fell down early, and they made a halftime adjustment and turned around in the second half where they really dominated. And we're kind of seeing the same thing again here. So I'm not going to panic, but Michigan needs to turn things around on the defensive end.
The difference in that game, though, is that the offense was rolling. Both offenses were rolling, and it was just the defense that was kind of lackluster. But here it's the defense is playing pretty well, only allowing 10 points to Elon over the first 9 minutes of this game. But the offense is holding back this team as they've only scored 7 points.
That was the story. Coming into the season, all the analysts said it during the preseason. Michigan losing their 3 top scoring players from last season. Who's going to score the ball this season? That was the story. And here we're seeing it. Here we're seeing only 7 points, down 10-7, almost halfway through the first half. 7 points is not going to cut it for 10 minutes of basketball.
With 5 of those coming off the hands of Eli Brooks, as he's 2 of 3 from the field and 1 of 2 from 3. And Michigan's only shooting 30%, but Elon not much better at 35%. So what I would like to see is Isaiah Livers get a little more involved. He's had 2 shot attempts in these first 8 minutes and 23 seconds. So,
and those have only been catch and shoot 3-pointers. Yeah. So you'd love to see him be a little bit more aggressive, attack the rim off the dribble, kick the ball out if he needs to. But he's a main player on this team now, and he's still making that adjustment. It's early on in the season, but he needs to make that adjustment fast because he is going to be one of the go-to guys for this offense all season long. So you'd love to see him be a little more aggressive.
He has been very good at creating his own shot in these past 2 games and in the exhibition game against Saginaw Valley State. With the jab step to the left, dribble to the right, and pull up mid-range. It seems like it's going in every time, but here he's just resorted to the catch and shoot threes from the corner there as time expired on the shot clock, and then on the wing in the early stages of that first half as we have 11 minutes and 37 seconds remaining, but that catch and shoot was in the first few minutes there.
And that's essentially Eli Brooks has done the same, with the exception of his first made basket where he dribbled around the three-point line to get an open shot from the elbow. He's really only been a catch-and-shoot type guy so far in this game. I'd love to see both Isaiah Livers and Eli Brooks be more aggressive off the dribble. They're going to get a lot of playing time in this game, and they're going to have to create for themselves and each other if they want to score enough points to win this ball game.
And in addition to those guys, something else that we've seen is not much involvement of John Teskey, as John Teskey's now out of the game with Colin Castleton taking his spot. But John Teskey's only 0 of 1 from the field, as Elon just double teams him and takes him out of the game plan for Michigan, something that Michigan has relied on heavily in these first 2 games.
John Teskey may be limited due to that double team in this game, but what that means is there's a player open. So that open player needs to cut to the basket. Teskey needs to have his eyes open and make the right pass.
And we're back from the break as Eli Brooks has the ball on the left wing, getting the screen from Livers, and drives baseline left side back out to Livers, pull up mid-range and misses. It was almost exactly what I was talking about during that break, but it just rimmed out there. It hit the rim, backboard, then rim, and goes out.
And that's exactly right. We were just talking about that. Eli Brooks, attacking off the dribble. He got stuck. Isaiah Livers calling off a screen for an open shot, taking a dribble. That's more aggression on offense, what we like to see.
And it's Elon ball now as Sheffield has the ball on the right wing. Back to Wooten. Wooten back to Sheffield. Sheffield passes to Wooten now on the right corner. Back out, and that's a shot clock violation as Sheffield attempts the 3, but after the shot clock expires.
That's great defense from Xavier Simpson there. Not being too jumpy with his feet, just staying in front of his man and forcing him to make a bad pass.
And Michigan now trying to even up this game as Xavier Simpson has the ball on the right wing, back to Castleton, top of the key. Weaving around, David DeJulius has the ball now, top of the key. Back to Simpson, left wing. Castleton posting up on the left block, sizing up his opponent. Turnaround jumper, a little dream shake there, misses. Short. Elon with the rebound.
And I like to see Colin Castleton try and create his own shot there on the block. They're not going to double team him the same way they have been double teaming John Teskey. I don't think Castleton is quite ready to be producing his own buckets with his back to the basket like that, but I like to see him try.
And Zach Irvin gets the foul called there for Elon as David DeJulius fouled him as he went up for 2 from the left elbow. He's going to the line now for 2.
And really for Colin Castleton, he's probably only going to be in this game for a couple more minutes, maybe a few, before Teskey comes back in. So while he's in, he needs to focus on making effective screens, moving the ball on offense, playing good defense with his hands up, and trying not to foul. Those will be the keys here for him. If he can do that, he'll be effective and he'll be playing his role on this team.
Castleton's one of Michigan's most versatile big men, but he didn't really play much against Creighton, only contributing 7 minutes and 2 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist in those 7 minutes. So we look for him to get a little more involved today, and he did that on his first possession, shooting that turnaround jumper but missing, and a little more involved on the glass too.
And I don't expect his minutes to change much from the Creighton game till now. He'll probably still play around 7 minutes, maybe a little bit more if he can be productive. But it's good to see him try and get involved on the offensive end.
As Zach Irvin will attempt the second of 2 here from the line. Elon leading Michigan 11-7, and second free throw comes and misses. And Michigan trying to get the rebound, and they do. Poked out of bounds by Elon. Michigan will get possession. Elon leading 11-7 with 10 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in this first half. Xavier Simpson bring the ball up now. Screen down low, off ball for Eli Brooks. Gets it back to Xavier Simpson. Now he's in the right corner, shaking his defender. Back out, David DeJulius for 3 from the corner, and he stinks it. 11-7 is now 11-10. Michigan down by 1.
And do you see how silky smooth Xavier Simpson is with the basketball, with the in and out dribble, finding his way to the middle of the lane and delivering a perfect pass to David DeJulius in the corner where he can sink the shot.
Elon ball now as Woods driving right, back out, and misses from the left elbow. David DeJulius gets the ball, he's pushing it, and gets fouled in transition as It'll be a foul on Elon. Michigan will take the ball out of bounds.
That's great aggression from David DeJulius, pushing the ball, making them reach, forcing the foul, following the three-point make. It looks like he's gaining confidence. You can see the confidence building as he plays, and he's being more aggressive as a result.
And Simon Wright comes in here for Hannah, for Elon. Castleton gets the inbounds pass. Livers now on the right wing. Back out to Simpson, left wing, screened by Castleton. Shakes his defender. Eli Brooks now ball in the right corner. Pull-up jumper, no good. And Elon with the rebound. McIntosh pushing the ball up the court now. Xavier Simpson tries to poke it loose, but doesn't, and the ball bounces off the rim after hanging on it for about 3 seconds there. And Simpson with the ball now on the right wing. 2 straight screens from Livers, and Castleton back out to Livers on the right wing. Simpson with the ball now, and pulls up from a few feet beyond the three-point line and misses there, as it is Elon basketball.
I'm not sure I like that shot from Xavier Simpson. That's not really his role. He's not expected to score a whole lot. He should facilitate the ball, move the ball, be quick on his feet, dribbling around like he did with that on the previous possession with the three-point make to David DeJulius.
And Hunter Woods misses the pull-up jumper there for Elon, as David DeJulius shakes and bakes, and it is good for 2.
I'll say it again. The confidence is building. You can see it possession by possession. Creating his own shot, it's impressive, and he's earning himself more minutes down the stretch for this Michigan basketball team.
And Elon now with a foul called on Colin Castleton, as Elon was trying to get it into the post there, feeding right. As it is Elon ball now, they will take it out of bounds. We have some substitutions for Michigan. Brandon Johns Jr. coming in for Colin Castleton, and John Teskey coming in for Eli Brooks. Not playing those specific positions, but of the players that came out, but both players coming in now.
And it looks like Brandon Johns and Colin Castleton are going to be competing for playing time this season. Maybe it looks like Juwan Howard right now is kind of feeling out. He's not sure who he likes more. I think down the stretch you're going to start to see more of one of them.
And Teskey finishes the and one. Wow. What stability and focus as he finishes the and one on the low block on the feed from Simpson. And Michigan going into the second or third media timeout, leading 14-11 with one coming from Teskey after the break.
And that's what you get when you feed the ball down low to John Teskey. He was just out of the game. He came right back in, and he's already making a difference as soon as he walked back on the court. You feed the ball down low to him, Elon can do nothing about it. They just don't match up well with him, and they can hack all they want, but even when they do, he's still going to convert because he's a great finisher around the rim.
He is an amazing finisher around the rim. Last game against Creighton, he had 2 and 1s at the end of that game to push Michigan over the edge and kind of put the dagger in Creighton there. And he converts the N1 here as he's hacked, but is able to maintain control of the ball and his body and finishing it.
He has great body control. Even when he's being, clawed at and grabbed at, he has great body control when he's in the air, and that's what really defines a great finisher is when you're, not in a routine position as you would be in practice.
That's
and
right.
You're still able to finish the basketball.
And so we saw there on that a sequence of a few different plays from David DeJulius. And like I said, when he checked into the game, he comes in with this Lou Williams type role. He struggled in the season opener, but as he missed all 3 of his shot attempts. But as he said to me as we were watching that Michigan State against who'd they play? Michigan State played against Seton Hall. We were watching that game, and he said to me he's looking to make a little more of an impact, as in that game he was just getting his feet wet, and as he showed last game against Creighton with the 9 points in 28 minutes and 7 rebounds, his feet are starting to get wet and he's starting to get more comfortable.
That's right. And his confidence is building. It's building slowly but surely. And actually, not even that slowly. We've seen it just in this game alone. From possession to possession, his confidence is building. First, he hit that 3 in the corner. Then he was producing off the dribble down the middle of the key, turning around with a spin move back the other way and sinking a nice fadeaway shot. He's also making some defensive plays. So David DeJulius, look for him to get some more minutes in this game and in games in the future of this season. His confidence is building, and he could be a key piece off the bench.
As on the big board, they show Howard's Herd, a line of of fans of Michigan students in cow onesies. And in years past, in that line right there, it was the B line, but it was guys with shirts with bees on them, a line of bees, a B line. But as B line has gone on to the Cleveland Cavaliers now, is the Howard Herd taking over.
Right. One college coach goes to the NBA, and one NBA coach comes back to college here at Michigan. You love to see the fans get creative, and they were Beeline first, and now they're the Howard's Herd. So they're being creative and they're having fun.
And John Teskey converts the and one there as Michigan is pressing for the first time all season, and Elon is able to break the press and now is resetting it in the front court as Sheffield has the ball now. Top of the key, gets a screen, driving, pull up and under is, he's not able to attempt the up and under as Brandon Johns Jr. was able to get his hands on the ball and tie it up as it'll remain Elon basketball.
I was just getting ready to say, Brandon Johns, as he just came into this game for Colin Castleton, I would love to see him be more aggressive than Colin Castleton was. He's going to be competing with Castleton for playing time throughout the season. Like I said, Juwan Howard is still probably making up his mind as to who he wants to play more because they play a similar position. So Brandon Johns has an opportunity here to be aggressive, and he started right there on defense with that jump ball.
And there was Marcus Sheffield missing the shot there as time expired on the shot clock, and David DeJulius with the rebound. Michigan with the ball now. Xavier Simpson pulling up from the right wing and missing, but the ball is batted out, and David DeJulius corrals the long rebound on the right wing for Michigan.
And that is a product of Brandon Johns attacking the boards on the shot and being aggressive. If not for him, we would not be having another possession right here.
Xavier Simpson sizing up his defender, passes out to Brandon Johns, and one.
There
finishes
he is again.
On the left side, on the baseline, curling around, nice backdoor cut, good look by Xavier Simpson, finishing it, and he's going to the line now to convert this and one.
And it's only been a very small sample size so far in this contest, but Brandon Johns is playing very well since he entered the game.
Brandon Johns Jr. scoring his first points of the game here. He has grabbed a rebound and had a block there and converts the and one.
And now you see Michigan putting on this full court press, not something they were doing out of the gate, but now they've retaken the lead by 7 points, and they're doing the full court press to slow down the shot clock for this Elon offense.
McIntosh with the ball in the left elbow and an easy look. Elon converts the pass, converts the look on the dunk attempt, and it's 2 points there as Michigan was double teaming on the elbow, leaving the Elon player wide open on the low block.
A defensive mishap there for Michigan. They're going to need to limit those.
Xavier Simpson with the ball on the left wing, back to Julius looking for Teskey on the low block. He goes up and gets fouled, but is not able to make it an and one this time as he will go to the line for two.
That's exactly what this Michigan offense needs to do. Feed the ball up high for Teskey to reach where nobody else can get it. That was the mistake that Simpson made early on that inbounds pass when they stole the ball from Teskey because he gave him a bounce pass instead of lobbing it up high where he could get it and nobody else could.
And he misses the first of two as Michigan now leads 18-13 with 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Michigan's field goal percentage has improved back to 37% to Elon's 30 now as John Teskey made the second of two there. And Elon bring the ball up the court in Michigan's press, and they break it as now they have they kick it back out. They had a 2-on-1, but they didn't take advantage.
They did have an opportunity there to attack the basket. They had numbers, but they choose to take their time on offense and kick the ball back out.
And it is right for Elon, curling around to the left block. Back out McIntosh for three, no good. Rebound David DeJulius, and he flings it to Livers, who isn't able to get the ball, and Elon gets possession.
And there's really no need for that pass on your defensive end of the court. Elon was already retreating back to the defensive end. Just give it to a guy in a white jersey.
And Brandon Johns Jr. is able to get the rebound from Michigan on that missed layup attempt by Elon. And Xavier Simpson driving left side, and he makes it.
Wow.
Michigan 21-13. Xavier Simpson too fast.
It's incredible how crafty he is with the basketball. And he's only 6 feet tall, and he's very quick. And the fact that he stays so low to the ground makes him very difficult to defend.
He just lulled McIntosh to sleep there and then turned on the Jets and drove right by him.
And he's great with both hands. He can finish with the left, finish with the right.
Sheffield, right elbow, and splash. It's good. Elon cutting the 8-point deficit to a 6-pointer, and Xavier Simpson with the ball now on the right wing, directing the offense. Nobody in, now it is Brandon Johns Jr. and back out David DeJulius, and he loses it. Elon ball, and McIntosh goes up for 2 and misses it as Xavier Simpson fouls him.
If Elon is going to if Elon's looking for a way to claw back into this game, they're going to need to get stops and push the ball, have fast break opportunities like they just did. If they don't convert, they'll create contact, get to the line, and that's how they'll slowly but surely claw their way back into this game and maybe give themselves a chance to actually win the game down the stretch.
And Hunter McIntosh at the line now for Elon makes the first of 2. McIntosh is a freshman from Snellville, Georgia. He attended the Greater Atlanta Christian High School, where he was selected to the 2017-2018 All-USA Today Georgia second team. So that's on his resume, as well as the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Division 3A Player of the Year during his junior year. So Elon's got a player here who's now on the board with 1 point, looking for 2, and it is good.
Some of these players on Elon are not to be overlooked. Hunter McIntosh, Hunter Woods, and of course Marcus Sheffield. These are legitimate ball players that are not to be overlooked by this Michigan team.
As Xavier Simpson again just weaves through the defense, wraps around McIntosh, and gets in the bucket for 2.
And Xavier Simpson makes it look so easy. That's back-to-back possessions there. Him just beating his defender off the dribble, getting an uncontested layup, even at 6 feet tall. It's very impressive for Xavier Simpson, who's an experienced senior who knows exactly what he's doing.
Marcus Sheffield II just can't be stopped on that mid-range jumper as he pulls up from the left elbow and makes it. Michigan isn't able to expand their lead back to 4 now.
Michigan on defense, they may want to consider, if I was Juwan Howard, I might want to consider double-teaming Marcus Sheffield because he's really the only guy that's been a threat on offense so far.
DeJulius pulling up from straightaway splash. It is good. Michigan leading 26-19 now as David DeJulius throwing the arrows there, shooting the arrows after that 3-point attempt. He now has 8 points on the day to go with 6 rebounds early on.
And David DeJulius is celebrating after a shot. You could argue that this will be a game that he'll remember as when he got his collegiate career rolling.
Especially if he can keep it going here at the end of the first half and then the second half. As Marcus Sheffield pulling up from the right wing and misses that 3-point attempt. DeJulius with the long rebound, his 7th of the day. Maybe a first half double-double for him?
Perhaps. I mean, that look there was not quite as good. It was fading away, and it was a 3-point shot.
Xavier Simpson straight on misses, and it is Elon with the rebound. Xavier Simpson hasn't gotten his 3-point shot to go today, 0 of 3, but he has made it count with 3 of 4 from 2, as he has 6 points on the day.
Xavier Simpson has been more aggressive on the offensive end, trying to score a little bit more for himself than he typically would. Usually as a facilitator is his role.
And Marcus Sheffield pulls up for 3 straight away. It's good, 13 points on the day. As a quick 3-point attempt from Adrian Nunez is good from Xavier Simpson on the right wing.
And just like we saw from David DeJulius, there's that no hesitation from Adrian Nunez there. That's what we need to see from him. He's been struggling to get playing time because he's not really confident in that shot, but that's what he's known for. He needs to take that shot with no hesitation, like he just did.
Xavier Simpson runs after the rebound there, pushing it up the court, back out to Teskey for 3 on the right wing, and no good, it's short.
I definitely don't like that shot there early on in the shot clock. John Teskey, not typically known as an outside shooter, can shoot it on occasion, but he should not be shooting it early on in the shot clock there.
Elon with the ball on the left wing. Marcus Sheffield looking for the ball, isn't able to get it. Timeout called by Elon. Xavier Simpson was all over Marcus Sheffield, not wanting him to score for a 3rd straight possession.
Xavier Simpson so far, in my eyes, is the player of the game. Been locking it down on defense. As you just mentioned, he was locking down their star Marcus Sheffield there on defense. And on offense, he's doing his thing. He's facilitating the ball, finding David DeJulius in the corner with a slick one-handed pass, and he's also creating for himself off the dribble, getting to the rack for uncontested layups, and he's put Michigan back in front.
Something that we saw in the last game against Creighton was John Teskey getting out-rebounded by a great amount by lesser players on Creighton, and Michigan losing the rebounding battle by 17, but still coming out with the victory. Creighton had 19 offensive rebounds that game, which just can't happen if you want to win against good teams. And not saying that Creighton's a bad team, but it just, you can't let that happen.
I think the issue for John Teske when he gets out-rebounded is he's such a big guy, he gets a little bit winded. Early on in this game when he was fresh, on the offensive end, he was trying to get offensive boards. Now, in the past couple minutes, he looks like he's a little bit gassed. He's running back on D as soon as the shot goes up instead of attacking those boards. And for that reason, he might get out-rebounded again.
Teske with only 2 rebounds so far today. DeJulius leading the team by a large margin, 7 rebounds. Next highest would be Teske, Livers, Castleton, and Johns Jr. with 2 each. And Michigan is leading the rebounding category, has a slight advantage, 17-16. And the turnover margin isn't really going Michigan's way, as Michigan has 7 turnovers to Elon's 5. What do you think we can attribute that to?
Well, I think early on in the game, they were some unforced turnovers just because they were rushing and they were trying to get out ahead too quick, as if that's possible. That was the issue with Creighton, is they didn't get enough offense right away, and I think they tried to make that transition in this game. Let's get out in front early. Obviously, that didn't happen. They fell behind early, but that might have been their mindset, and they were rushing. And I think that might have been the product of some early turnovers, but now they look like they settled down. They're not turning the ball over as much. They're getting good shots, and as a result, they've retaken the lead, and they look a lot more comfortable now.
Something that I really appreciate watching with this Michigan team is the passing, with Xavier Simpson just creating for his teammates, and then also John Teske not being selfish down there on the post and not being afraid to kick it out. He has 2 assists, and Xavier Simpson has the other 4 for Michigan, as Michigan has 6 assists. But watching Elon, it's more of the isolation ball for Marcus Sheffield, as he has 13 points on 11 shots.
Well, it's really beneficial for this Michigan offense to have a big man in Teske that can pass the ball, especially in this situation where every time he touches the ball, he's being double-teamed. So his scoring opportunities are going to be limited. He needs to be able to find the open man when they're double-teaming him, because there will be an open man that is obviously being left open for that extra defender to come double-team him.
And with that last point, Elon only has 1 assist on the day, coming from McIntosh, and Sheffield's doing pretty much all the scoring, with only 9 other points coming from the other Elon players, as we're back from the break. And David DeJulius with his 8th rebound of the day, bouncing around, and is able to get the ball and bring it up the court. Eli Brooks now, top of the key at the M, passes it to Nunez, back to Brooks. On the right wing, screen from Teske. Screen from Johns. On the left wing, Nunez pulling up from 5 feet beyond the 3-point line, and that's an over-the-back call on Elon's Hannah, as that is Elon's 9th foul, and I believe that'll be the bonus.
You continue to see a lack of hesitation from Adrian Nunez. He's catching the ball and he's shooting it, looking right at the basket, immediately looking to score as soon as he touches the ball, and that's been his issue the past couple of games. So even though that shot didn't fall, look for him to continue having no hesitation on those shots.
And Michigan is indeed in the bonus, as John Teske goes to the line and makes the first there, creating a chance for a second, as Michigan now leads 30-22 with 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining in this first half.
John Teske really is getting bruised there. He's getting pushed around down there on the block. It's resulting in a lot of free throw opportunities for him. So if he can continue to hit these free throws and just chip away and keep building this lead.
Nothing but net on that second attempt, as Michigan has their largest lead of the game at 9, and they are leading 31-22 as Elon airballs a shot, and David DeJulius had a chance there for his 9th rebound, but just let it go out of bounds, as it is Michigan ball with 54 seconds remaining on this game clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock as they inbound it.
And David DeJulius already up into double-digit minutes in just the first half. He's already played more minutes in this game than you would typically see him play in a full game, because he's played extremely well. He's playing good defense and playing good offense. He's really just having a great overall game.
He really is, as Eli Brooks now getting the screen from Teske, and he airballs a mid-range jumper. Teske trying to save it and does, but now Elon has numbers as they're pushing it up, but they don't take advantage, as McIntosh has the ball, passes it to the left elbow, and who else but Sheffield now has the ball, as the shot clock is a little bit after the game clock, so a little bit more than the game clock, I should say. So that means that Elon will take the last shot here as 8 seconds remain on the game clock. Sheffield getting the screen, step back, and passes it in, up and under. No good, he's blocked by Brandon Johns. And that'll be the half, folks. Michigan leads 31-22. Even though Michigan didn't score any field goals in the last 2 minutes and 33 seconds, didn't really hurt as Elon had their own scoring drought in the last 2 minutes and 42 seconds, missing their last 4. As we go to the half, Michigan leading 31-22. And what did you see from this Michigan team to help them bring that lead to 9 points and kind of create a little separation?
Well, first of all, that's great awareness on that last play from Brandon Johns there, really proving himself to be a great defender. But I think with the half as a whole, the key thing was just slowing the pace down on offense. They started to move a little bit too quick at the beginning of the game, but they settled down. They found their rhythm. They were taking good shots. Adrian Nunez, David DeJulius, Xavier Simpson, being aggressive and having no hesitation on the offensive end, still slowing it down, playing good, solid defense, and that's what allowed them to come back and create this 9-point lead. I expect them to hold on to that lead in the second half. In fact, I think that lead will continue to grow as they seem they have their hands on Elon and they know exactly how to defend them and score on them.
So what do you think we can see from Michigan? Some changes to be made to expand that lead to greater than 9 points and cover this spread of 14 points?
Well, they may want to consider double-teaming Marcus Sheffield on offense. So far, he's really been the only scoring threat. He scored 13 points for Elon. Other than that, they don't really have anybody who's been scoring a whole lot. So they could double-team him. They could put a bigger man, maybe a shiftier Brandon Johns, as they just did on that last final possession, where they forced Marcus Sheffield to actually pass the ball. Instead, I'm sure he wanted to take that final shot, but they forced him to pass the ball. They could do that the whole second half if they wanted to put a shiftier defender on him and force other players on Elon to score the basketball other than Marcus Sheffield.
Yeah, that's going to be key, as Marcus Sheffield was really the only one hurting Michigan, as he was the only one to shoot better than 50% from the field on 6 of 11 shooting, accounting for 13 of Elon's 22 points. And the other players on Elon only made 3 other shot attempts. Sheffield was 6 of 11. All the rest of Elon's players were 3 of 19. So if Michigan's able to take him out of the game, then it's a runaway here.
I mean, literally, other than Marcus Sheffield, the next highest scorer has 2 points for Elon. So he is quite literally been the only offensive production for that team. If I'm Juwan Howard in the locker room right now with the Michigan basketball team, stop Marcus Sheffield. Otherwise, they're just not going to score. They have no other weapons on offense, or they haven't proved to have any other offensive weapons on offense. But on the offensive end, I think they just need to keep finding the open man. David DeJulius looks like he has a hold on his three-point shot. Adrian Nunez has hit one. John Teskey is looking good. Brandon Johns is looking good. Isaiah Livers, I think I want to see him a little bit more involved. He hasn't really converted on the offensive much. In fact, he has 0 points in the first half. But I hope that they can pound the ball with Isaiah Livers and get him more involved.
Yeah, Isaiah Livers, a little surprising coming from Michigan's top scorer and most consistent guy. But David DeJulius picking up the slack in a big way, scoring 8 points on 3 of 3 shooting, 2 of 2 from 3, and to go with 8 rebounds. That's his career high coming in the first half of this game. Really showing what he can do here, and as that 6th man, it's a really valuable piece for this Michigan team.
And I think Adrian Nunez will start the second half with the starting 5 as he did at the start of the game. But look for David DeJulius to come in for Adrian Nunez pretty quick early on in the second half. He's been the offensive powerhouse along with Xavier Simpson, of course, in this contest so far. So David DeJulius, look for him to have more minutes, and he's been doing quite well.
The minutes have really been spread pretty evenly in today's game, with 6 guys, the 5 starters, and then David DeJulius being in double digits, and then Brandon Johns Jr. coming in with 8 minutes played off the bench, with Colin Castleton, the only bench player with fewer than 8 minutes, as Brandon Johns Jr. does have the 8 minutes. This team looks like they are 8 deep. With Franz Wagner, can't forget about Franz Wagner. Top recruit coming in, he's going to be back pretty soon. He'll take over that starting role for Adrian Nunez. That's a big-time piece coming back. He's a versatile combo guard with his length. He's 6'9", and he's a shooting guard. Can stroke it from 3 and dribble and just get past the defense, great defensively. His brother Mo, he was a mainstay here at Michigan for those 3 years on that national
His
championship
brother Mo,
team.
who is now playing in the NBA for the Washington Wizards,
Yeah.
is probably, some would say, the reason actually that Michigan was in the NCAA title game a couple of years ago.
Oh, no doubt.
And Franz Wagner is obviously his younger brother. He's expected to return for the Battle for Atlantic tournament in the Bahamas over Thanksgiving week. And as soon as they come back, he's expected to be a big part of the offensive production that this team has been lacking. So look for Franz Wagner to come back healthy. He has a wrist injury he's recovering from, but he's in late October he had that injury, but he's almost ready to come back. He's going to be a big part of this offense. He's a true freshman, one of only two freshmen on this team. So Franz Wagner will be a big piece of this team. Definitely important to not forget him. They'll probably have a 9-person rotation. They have an 8-person rotation right now. So definitely look for Franz Wagner to be a big piece of this team throughout the season.
They say Franz is actually coming as a better recruit or better prospect and more seasoned than his brother Mo. And we saw what Mo did with his Michigan program, kind of not putting them on the map, but bringing them back to relevancy after the Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr. years, and then bring them to the national championship. And if it weren't for that freak wrist injury in practice, where he went for a dunk and then slipped off the rim and fell on his wrist, causing him to be out for now it's been 4 weeks. If it weren't for that, then he would be in the starting rotation, showing the Michigan faithful really what he's all about.
Like you said, that was a freak practice incident. I'm just glad that it wasn't anything more serious. It was just a minor wrist injury that's only going to put him out for about a month, and he's only going to miss a small handful of games. So he's going to have many months of basketball to play with a healthy wrist. I'm glad he's not out for a longer period of time.
Yeah, I had lunch with him, or breakfast, that is. I had breakfast with him yesterday, as we have both 9 a.m. classes, 8:30 on Thursday, 9 a.m. on Friday. So we do have breakfast on Thursday and Fridays together. And he was telling me that He was telling me that he got his cast off, as I saw, and I asked when he's able to come back, because now he has a brace on, and he is coming back. He gets the brace off, and he's cleared for basketball activities starting on the 22nd or 23rd. And that game against Houston Baptist here at Chrysler Center is on the 22nd. But I feel like Houston Baptist isn't really that big of an opponent, but in that battle for Atlantis that Michigan takes part in late November over Thanksgiving break, those are some big games. Against Iowa State to open it on the 27th, and then facing the winner of the North Carolina game, which is probably going to be North Carolina, as they're one of the top teams in the country with Cole Anthony leading them. So Michigan will need him back at full strength for that. So I'm guessing that Franz Wagner will not be playing in that Houston Baptist game, but that he will be playing in the battle for Atlantis, and he will be fully cleared to go against those top teams.
I have to agree with you. I don't expect him to play against Houston Baptist, even if he is cleared to play, and he will likely be excited as a freshman to get his collegiate career underway. But I think as a coach, it would be smart to hold him out of that game just for precautionary purposes, because like you said, over Thanksgiving break, they're going to play in that Battle for Atlantis tournament, where they're playing they have some big matchups against UNC. Cole Anthony, top recruit in the nation, will likely be in the NBA next year. So they have to save Franz Wagner for that. Make sure he's 120% ready to go, because they're also, not just for the tournament, but they're going to need him down the stretch. Like you say, he's going to be in the starting lineup. He's going to be a big part of this offense. And like it's been said by many, the offensive production has been probably the main point of lack for this team so far. People have been worried about this offensive output for this team. Franz Wagner is going to come in right away, and people are expecting him to be that difference maker in terms of the scoring production. So you're going to want to make sure you have him completely healthy. So hold him out of the Houston Baptist game, and keep him ready for the whole season down the line. And
we talked about how each of these two teams we're seeing play today have a new head coach, and with Michigan is Juwan Howard. And I mentioned that they have an up-tempo offense, and they have kept Coach Beilein's stingy defensive scheme. That was the first of my 2 points. If you can recall, I said that there are 2 points. The second, he has been hot on the recruiting trail, bringing in, or not officially bringing in, but getting a getting a yes from Isaiah Todd. He hasn't officially signed the paperwork, as he has until November 20th to do so in the early signing period, and then the late signing period starts April 15th, which is kind of risky if he doesn't sign. But we do have a letter of intent from him. He hasn't officially signed the commitment papers, but that's a big prospect, 5-star, one-and-done type player that Coach Beeline would have never even sniffed. And then Michigan is in the running for 4-star Hunter Dickinson, despite Juwan Howard starting so late in the game in this recruiting. Hunter Dickinson will, if he comes to Michigan, he will fill the hole that John Teske leaves, because Hunter Dickinson, I don't know if you've heard of Hunter Dickinson, he is a 7'2", 250-pound behemoth, 4-star recruit. That would be a great ad for this Michigan team, and another potential one-and-done player.
Well, Hunter Dickinson with that size is going to be badly needed with John Teske leaving. Like we've seen in this game, John Teske, because of his size, has been a huge weapon down low, because Elon cannot match up with that 7'1" frame, which is unbelievable. But to your first point, Coach Beeline, who obviously this is his first season gone from this team, they've kept with his stingy style of defense. And when you have your star players Xavier Simpson and John Teske, who spent the majority of their college careers, they're both seniors, with Coach Beeline, it was a good call by Juwan Howard to keep that same defensive scheme. You don't want to change too much going into their final season of basketball, collegiate basketball. So I like that. And then to your second point, they need to. When you have a big name coach like Juwan Howard, obviously it's his first season ever as a head coach in really any capacity. But he was a big NBA star, and he was, of course, played here at Michigan as a part of that Fab Five. So he's a well-known guy, and for recruiting purposes, that's exactly what you need. And that's been extremely beneficial to get 5-star talents like Isaiah Todd, and 4-star talents like Hunter Dickinson. Hopefully they can continue to recruit and bring in a great team next year, because they're going to need it with Xavier Simpson gone as well as John Teske.
And now with 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining until we start the second half. There's no tip-off in college. Until we start the second half, that we're going to end our first half coverage. So we thank you very much for listening to our first half coverage. This is going to be all for myself, Zach Corson, and next to me, Dan Levine. In the second half, you will get Jack Molino and Amir Bektis on the mics. Again, thank you, and hopefully Michigan will be able to get a win here and bring their record to 3-0 on the season. Again, thank you. Go Blue.
Well, welcome back inside the Chrysler Center. It's the second half of the Michigan Wolverines versus the Elon Phoenix. Michigan won the first half 31-22, and the Elon Phoenix shot a total of 9 for 30%. Michigan picked it up later in the second half after a pretty slow start. I'd say they were 11 for 27, 40.7% from the field. Just talk about what you see, Amir. The second half of the first half, Michigan definitely picked up on offense. What was it for you?
Kind of like we were watching it during the first half, or early into the game. It looked like it was going to be a close game. Michigan really hasn't found their identity yet for the season. Look for the second half. For the second half, I'm looking for more of a big man play for Michigan. John Teskey going down to work in the post.
Yeah, Teskey had 17 points in his first 2 games against Appalachian State and Creighton on Tuesday night. Only 6 points tonight, 1 for 3 from the field. He hasn't been too active. Hunter Woods has done a pretty good job on him down low. I definitely want to see John Teskey get more involved here in the second half. Michigan side, pretty good from the field. Like I said, 40.7%. Simpson was 3 for 7. Livers was over 3 from the field. Like to see Livers going. Right now it's a 9-point lead. Elon's going to come out pretty tough this second half, as they do have a chance to win this game for sure. Michigan really needs to step it up on the offensive end, in my opinion. See if Xavier Simpson can get the Michigan Wolverines offense rolling here. If
they played like they did the first 5 minutes of the first half, Elon will tie this game up really quick.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely saw a multitude of defenses on both sides. Michigan entered a zone defense at one point. It was mostly man-to-man, and then Elon was man-to-man for part of it, but mostly in that 2-3 zone. Michigan hasn't been able to shoot the ball too well from deep, 4 for 14. A little slower start than the Creighton and Appalachian State game. Definitely want to see maybe Adrian Nunez get going, highly touted shooter coming into Michigan this year. Haven't seen him get his stroke going from deep yet this season. We'll see what happens here in the second half.
Yeah, I would keep an eye on him the second half.
The ball will inbound to Xavier Simpson. Michigan has it as we start the second half. Elon in a 2-3 zone. Simpson goes right at the defense. It's Livers up top, drives left, step back, and just off the rim. Teskey gets the follow. He's fouled down low, and that's what's tough about playing a zone. You don't have a single man to box out, and Teskey takes advantage of that and go to line to shoot 2.
That's Teskey's bread and butter. Down low, in the post, rebounding, get the offensive rebound.
Yeah, Teskey dominated on the boards last year in the Big Ten, looking to do the same. The 7-footer senior out of Medina, Ohio.
He's establishing some range as well.
Yeah.
First couple of games, he was taking a couple deep threes.
Definitely a common trend in the Big Ten or in college basketball. These stretch fives that can really spread the floor as he knocks down the second one. Michigan up 32-22.
That's where the NBA is going as well. There's no true center.
Yeah, for sure. Elon has it. Michigan in a man-to-man defense here. Up top, it's Sheffield. It's the transfer from Stanford. Simon Wright enters it down low to Poser. Teskey has him. He spins right over Teskey. Nice move there from Poser.
Great move right there. Got Teskey to bite on it.
Yeah, Poser, the senior from Italy. Nice move there on Teskey.
Italia.
Michigan on offense. Simpson up top. Livers sets a screen, looking for the ball at the top of the key. Simpson has it. Handoff to Nunez. Nunez, one dribble, shoot, and it's good. Adrian Nunez with a nice shot, assist from Xavier Simpson there.
Exactly what we talked about right before the second half.
Yeah, Nunez, from reports in practice, he can get going, and we haven't seen him do it this year. We'll see if he gets to do it in the second half. Backdoor pass, Sheffield, nice move there. He's fouled by Eli Brooks. A dangerous player like Sheffield like that, if you want to go out and guard him, he can backdoor you, and he did just that to Eli Brooks.
Yeah, with a 10-point lead, Elon's definitely not out of this game right now. We're only a minute, 15 seconds into the second half.
Sheffield will go to the line to shoot 2.
Michigan did have trouble closing out Appalachian State. They were up by quite a few points, and then Appalachian State cut it down to, I believe it was 5.
Yeah.
With under 5 minutes left. So interesting to see if Michigan's if they learned anything from that game.
Marcus Sheffield, 6'5", graduate transfer from Stanford out of Georgia. Has been having a really good season so far. He's going to be a very good player in that Colonial Athletic Conference out east. He hits both free throws, 34-26, 18-40 left here in the second half. Michigan has it on offense. Nunez on the wing. Simpson in the corner. Teskey sets a ball screen at the top of the key. Simpson steps back and hits the three. Xavier Simpson, the improved three-point shooter, knocks one down. 37-26 Michigan. Wooten has it up top. Simpson almost kicks at it. Poser looking for the back door from Wooten. Oh, that's Woods, my fault. He turns the ball over. Nice steal there from Nunez. Michigan has it going the other way. Livers in transition. Goes between the legs. Left-hand pass over to Brooks. One extra pass, finds Simpson. Does not pull the trigger over Simon Wright. He crosses him over. A little flip shot. And Teskey unable to garner the ball there. That would have been a nice little alley-oop there from Simpson, who looked like he was going to shoot that with his classic hook shot, but he did not. And here's Wooten. One dribble, shoot just short off the back rim, And Brooks coming in the other way. Has Simpson and Livers to his right. Decides not to pass. Nunez thought about it for a second in the corner, and Michigan will get set back up on offense.
Yeah, Eli Brooks had two guys down low on the block. Should have hit him.
15 on the shot clock. Livers up top, working on Sheffield. Goes back right, goes right into his chest. Nice move there from Isaiah Livers, just overpowering the undersized Sheffield. Isaiah Livers has really put on a lot of muscle this year, and he's a very, very strong player down low. Wooten up top. Brooks on him. Gets a ball screen from Poser. Michigan decides not to switch. Finds Simon Wright. Adrian Nunez is on him in the corner. He drives left, high off the backboard. Nice move there from Simon Wright.
Every time Michigan goes down the court, Elon comes right back and answers right away.
For sure. 39-28, 16:40 left here in the second half. Michigan leads it in the Chrysler Center. Xavier Simpson looking for a ball screen. Decides not to take the ball screen, passes it down to Nunez, who kicks it back out to Brooks. 10 on the shot clock. Brooks drives left. Left-hand floater. Nice move there from Eli Brooks.
Is Coach Howard teaching them those float shots?
Seriously. We talked about it before, Amir, some of these undersized guards, they can really utilize that hook shot to get over the tall defenders in the lane. Here's Woods, drives right, finds Simon Wright in the corner, and he is just short off the top of the backboard.
Who in the NBA is known for their signature hook shot?
Not many. Chris Paul had one, and Tony Parker had one. Some of those undersized guards like I was talking about.
Dwayne Wade didn't really have a hook shot. He had that little floater.
Yeah.
Drives in right at the free throw line and floats it in.
Xavier Simpson's efficiency around the basket has been unbelievable this year, partly because of that really special hook shot that he has. Teskey down low, working on Poser. Backs in. Nice move there from Teskey. Shot fake, got Simon Wright up and jumping, and he took advantage of that. Goes right into him. Makes it 43-28, 15 minutes left here in the second half. Wright gets a ball screen from both sides. Wooten goes back to Wright. Livers is on him. Steps one foot into the lane. Poser throws it right over Teskey. Does not get the friendly roll. Michigan coming the other way. Simpson on the right side looking for Teskey, who fumbles it, is able to get the ball back into control and finishes it. 45-28, a 6-0 run here, and Elon is going to call a timeout, and that will count as the immediate timeout as well, and Michigan comes out storming here in the second half.
I think it's Teskey time.
It is. He's so good at reading those pick and rolls. He can pop, and then he can also roll, and Simpson and Teskey, who've been playing together for 4 years now at Michigan, definitely have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah, kind of like we were talking about earlier, is the NBA is just basketball in general is going away from that true dominant center. To be efficient in basketball today, you have to be a stretch five, and Teskey's kind of building his game around that.
Yeah, if Teskey's able to hit the three, run the floor, he definitely fits well in this fast-paced Michigan offense. You got to reward the big for running the floor, and Simpson when he's running. And he wasn't known last year, in my opinion, as a huge transition point guard. But this year, he's been able to get his eyes up and find a lot of his teammates in transition. And it's really paying off. Teskey and a lot of those players, I'm sure, did a lot of conditioning in the offseason to prepare for this fast-paced offense that Juwan Howard has implemented.
Yeah, lots of respect for him coming back to Michigan and not testing the waters of the NBA.
Yeah.
So this will be more of a development year. He's off to a good start right now.
Yeah. 17 points in his first 2 games. Was slow here in the first half. Teskey was. Now has 11 points. He's got 5 in the second half already.
And those slow starts, in my opinion, I believe, it's because Michigan is still trying to find their identity. What's their identity going to be in the Big Ten this year?
Yeah, in my opinion, it is the fast-paced offense. The problem with the fast-paced offense, in my opinion, is you have to play almost double the defense. So they're shooting the ball early in the shot clock. You got to get back on defense right away because sometimes with an early shot in the offense, you got to start sprinting back the other way, and you're going to get tired. And Michigan really only uses an eight-man rotation. Yeah. That may change when Franz Wagner does come back in a few weeks here, hopefully. But with that amount of transition in the game, you got to get new, fresh legs in the game. But Howard seems to only be using 8 men so far this season.
Yeah, and looking to it, Michigan's got to get their identity real quick because they take on the Spartans right after New Year's, January 5th in Breslin. And Michigan State should be getting back to full health, I believe, by then.
Yeah, Michigan State definitely the favorite in the Big Ten. Maryland up there as well.
Ohio State's not bad either this year.
Ohio State has been doing some good things down in Columbus.
Big Ten's probably just going to be a lot deeper this year than usual.
The Michigan and Michigan State really lead the Big Ten these last few years with Tom Izzo and John Beilein. Such a great rivalry that is, obviously ended now. But, like you said, Amir, you got to use these games to your advantage and learn from them because Big Ten play starts earlier than you think. In a few weeks, they'll be in Atlantis, and then they got a big non-conference game against Louisville and Oregon. But next thing you know, you're in the Big Ten, and you're playing Michigan State, as the New Year, or right after the New Year, and that's a huge game that can be the difference between getting a 5 seed and an 8 seed.
Yeah, and this year they welcome the Oregon Ducks to Chrysler, so that should be their first big test, and hopefully by then they'll have their identity.
And Elon has it at the top of the key. It's Sheffield. Steps back. Simpson with a nice hand steals it from Sheffield. Foul is called. And that, unfortunately, may be the media timeout. The timeout by Elon did not count as a media timeout, so less than 10 seconds goes on between the media timeout and the full timeout by Elon. And I think that's actually a new rule, or maybe a new rule they implemented 2 years ago, is your first timeout does not count as a media timeout, even if it's right after the 16-minute mark. So another break in the action here at the Chrysler Center.
Yeah, as we were talking about the Big Ten, so not just in terms of basketball, but I saw an interesting fact that the Big Ten has the most bowl-eligible teams out of all the Power 5 conferences this year.
Really?
Yeah. Big Ten's deep.
In football and basketball. You look at the football side of it, probably not as deep as some of these other conferences after Ohio State, but
when you look at the SEC, like who do they really have that as a conference, as a whole conference, how good is the SEC actually?
It's top to bottom, in my opinion, it's better than the Big Ten. You match up, the 6th best team in the SEC against the 6th best team in the Big Ten. SEC is winning that. If you match up the 10th best team against the 10th best team in both conferences, the SEC is winning it.
Yeah. Interesting to see the move by the committee with the newest playoff rankings, giving Georgia that 4 slot. So if Georgia wins out, they're in the playoffs.
It's going to be interesting college football playoff selection committee this later in, I believe it's sometime in December when they decide that. Yeah.
Georgia losing to an unranked South Carolina team at home, and Alabama losing a close game to LSU on the road, and the committee favors Georgia. So interesting move. Who knows what the committee's up to this year?
Looking at some other NCAA men's basketball scores around the nation, Duke only up 3 against Georgia State with 16 minutes left at Cameron Indoor. Kansas up 9-2 early against Monmouth. Monmouth, who had a pretty good start to a season, early, or it would have been 2 seasons ago. And then finally, Xavier up 40-36 against Missouri State. 15 minutes left in that one. We saw it, I think it was Monday night or Wednesday night. Evansville out of the Missouri Valley Conference pulls the upset against Kentucky. You really never know in basketball, and some of these smaller teams with these really talented guards you see in March Madness all the time can have some good shooting days. So you have to prepare for each game like it's the biggest game of the season, even like a game like this against Elon. You can't take any nights off in NCAA men's basketball, because basketball is one of those games where if shots are going in, any team can beat anybody.
You have to use this as kind of as your preseason. Even though the games do count, this is more of like a preseason building, like the same thing I've been saying is your identity, getting ready for the bigger games, the Big Ten play, the tournament run. So
And that doesn't mean taking nights off, but it means learning from your mistakes and everything like that.
Learning it, trying out new offenses, seeing which guys work better together.
Yeah, because things can't change. You just got to be ready to go by March. Back here in action, Sheffield off the inbound, scores quickly, cuts it down to 15.
You always see unfortunate stuff like injuries, players go down. So
Yeah, you got to be ready for anything that can happen. Michigan back on offense. Eli Brooks working on Zach Irvin on the left wing. Nunez almost stepped into their three there, decides not to take it. Livers gives it back out to Brooks. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Teskey setting ball screen. Doesn't get the switch. Brooks spins around. Almost travels, and he finds Isaiah Livers, the backdoor cutter, for the easy layup.
great no-look pass. He had the defense fooled from the beginning.
Eli Brooks, the junior out of Pennsylvania, was had some limited play time last year with some other talented guards, but taking on a bigger role this year behind Xavier Simpson. That's number 14, Zach Irvin, working up top. Here comes this ball screen for Wooten. Teskey decides to switch, and Chuck Hanna hits the mid-range jumper to keep it at 15. 14 minutes left here in the Chrysler Center. Elon in man-to-man defense. Xavier Simpson almost steps back, finds Nunez from the corner, or from the wing, and wow, what a play by John Teskey. The tip-in, makes sure that he's not above the cylinder and tips that in to make it a 19-point game now.
Great play by him, just timing his jump, as you said, as the ball was outside of the cylinder.
And Elon has to do a better job of boxing out the big 7-foot Teskey.
That's a hard task.
It is, yeah. Sheffield on the short baseline. It's outside. Wooten driving on Brooks. Finds nothing there. Chris Wooten finally hits a three. Gets a switch. It was Adrian Nunez who contested. Elon now have scored on their last three possessions out of those 2 timeouts. Keeping this one close. Teskey up top. Working with Simpson. Simpson drives left-hand finish, and one. What a nice finish there off the top of the backboard. A little kiss there from Xavier Simpson, who I said before, he's been really good finishing around the basket this year.
If you're Elon and you have any hope of getting back in this game and possibly even winning it, you have to take each play by possession. So right now, I think they really haven't stopped Michigan or their offense at all. So you got to get a couple of stops, get back into the game.
Yeah, Simpson does such a good job of kind of reading and reacting to these ball screens. Looks like we're going to get a review here. I'm not sure of what. Maybe the ball hit the top of the backboard before it went out, because Simpson really threw it up high there. Or maybe they're looking at some sort of flagrant foul. Simpson, I think the shot was contested by McIntosh down low, and he got a little push at the end. I guess we'll see what they are reviewing.
I don't know what they'd really be reviewing. Maybe time?
Possibly. It looks like the review is over. The refs asking Elon and Michigan to get out of their huddles. 13 minutes left here at the Chrysler Center. Michigan up 51-35. This is WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan basketball live on YouTube, and then also occasionally 88.3 FM WCBN. I'm here with Amir Beckis. It was Zach Corson and Dan Levine on the call. My name is Jack Molino. We'll have coverage tomorrow of Michigan football at noon against the Michigan State Spartans. Daniel Thompson and Alex Strand will have that call on YouTube /WCBN Sports. And Simpson just misses the and one free throw, and Michigan will enter a 1-2-2 zone full court, and they get back into man. Sheffield spins off Simpson, drives right past Teskey and Simpson. Nice finish there. Sheffield showing why he's one of the best players in the nation.
Great finish. Now can they get the stop?
Simpson up top, gives it to Livers.
Seems like they want to play that zone defense, but they're going back to man on man.
Yeah, Xavier Simpson's done a good job of directing his offense, letting him know what type of offensive set they are in. Nice pass there from Livers down low. Found Teskey, unable to finish. Pretty good defense there by Poser.
So they get to stop, and they don't have a big man. They're going small right now.
Sheffield just missed it off the front rim. Teskey rebound, Livers up the right side in transition. Crosses over number 21. That's Andy Pack. Livers steps back. Off the front rim, just short. No good there from Livers. Pretty good shot selection, though. And here come Elon Phoenix the other way. It's Sheffield.
So they have back-to-back stops, but they didn't capitalize on their last time down.
Number 10, Chris Wooten, just off the front rim again. Elon not getting their legs into these shots here. Continue to be short on these shots. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Xavier Simpson taking his time. Teskey up top. Finds DeJulius. Will set a ball screen. DeJulius denies the ball screen, takes the three, just long. And some missed buckets on both sides here. 51-37, Michigan leads it.
Looks like the media timeouts really threw the rhythm off.
Not for the first three possessions because Elon scored off them, but since then it's been very little offense production. It's Sheffield up top, crosses over Simpson, takes the ball screen, decides to shoot the three, and bangs it in. Marcus Sheffield now with 19 points, 8 for 14 from the field tonight. Xavier Simpson having a tough time with him. Simpson gives it to Teskey. Livers dribbles to the other side to Julius. And what a pass there from Xavier Simpson. Good ball movement around the perimeter to find Livers down low. And Livers doing a really good job of cutting this game.
Yeah, just great movement right there. You'd think the crowd would be a little more into it right now.
You'd think, yeah. Now with 13-point lead.
Friday night at Chrysler.
Sheffield's now with DeJulius on him. Zach Irvin drives there on Eli Brooks. Good defense, straight up, no foul, but a better finish there from Zach Irvin.
Great take, great take. Good defense.
Teskey finds Livers. Coach Howard trying to get the offense to go here. Livers cuts again. Nice pass there to Eli Brooks in the corner. That's his spot, and he nails it. Eli Brooks, three-point field goal to find from Isaiah Livers, who's really moving the ball well in this offense. Isaiah Livers, he has grown in the 3 years he has been here. Mainly a defensive player freshman year, and then has really turned into an offensive threat these last 2 years. Sheffield, nice spin move, and John Teskey says, no, thank you. What a block there from John Teskey, and that will lead us into the third media timeout of the half. And Michigan leads at 56-42, 9:50 left here in the second half.
Great block by John Teskey, and as soon as you think the crowd's going to get back into it, media timeout.
Yeah, a little unfortunate timing there. T-shirt toss here at the Chrysler Center.
So the past couple of possessions by Michigan, I'm really impressed with their ball movement, being patient, using the shot clock to their advantage, waiting to get that open shot, not really having to force anything.
A lot of the, I don't want to say criticism, but a lot of the reviews from this Michigan offense so far is fast pace, a lot of more isolation. The shot selection hasn't been too good, but it looks like they're implementing a few more offensive sets into this game, and they're being more patient than the first two games, which I think is a good thing, but I also think it's going to be fast paced. I think a team that can do both can have great success on offense.
I think with the Michigan basketball team, it's going to be very similar to the football team, kind of like implementing that new offense with John Gaddis. And it was a slow start, and it waited till the Penn State game where they just had that turnaround in the second half.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a very similar thing with the basketball team too, because they still don't have their identity. So might take a couple of games before they start hitting their stride.
Yeah. And then, now, in your opinion, Amir, having Franz Wagner back in a few weeks here, how big of impact do you think he'll have on this Michigan offense? I'm not sure how good a defender he is. He's obviously young, 19-year-old freshman, coming from overseas. Mo Wagner's younger brother, to give you a little context. Mo Wagner now in the Washington Wizards. But going back to Franz Wagner, how big an impact do you think he'll have on this team?
To be honest, I don't know too much about him, but just looking at it from like a team perspective along with a coaching perspective, you're in, let's say he comes back halfway or before the Michigan State game. Do you throw him in to the fire with no collegiate experience, anything like that? I probably don't put him in right away just because of the risk of injury. And depending on how the team is flowing, if the team is clicking on all cylinders, I bring him off the bench. Any player, not just Wagner, any player.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough call, considering that he was a very highly touted recruit. People were saying that if he would have played 1 year in the German league, he could have been a first-round pick. So you'd hope that they'd play someone like that, a first-round pick, right away and not come off the bench. But we'll definitely see what Juwan Howard says about that. The report that he will be back for the Atlantis games. First game, I think that's Wednesday, November 26th against Iowa State. An early start, I think it's 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. And then if they win that game, they'll play the winner of Alabama and UNC, and then possibly Gonzaga in the championship. So Battle for Atlantis will have some really good competition down there. Kind of a good test before entering Big Ten play.
A good test, and then also showing the country what Michigan basketball has in store for this year. Is all the hype around Juwan Howard going to be for real, or just kind of, hey, we got Juwan Howard?
Yeah, I mean, it's the two parts of coaching. You know, you obviously have the recruiting, and Juwan Howard seems to be, you know, kind of tapping into his network. He's been an AU coach before. He's got his NBA network, but can he, you know, drop the X's and O's is the question.
I think it was a splash pickup.
Yeah. Back here in action, 56-42. Michigan leads it. 9 minutes left. Elon on offense. It's Zach Irvin in the corner. Kicks it back out to McIntosh. Shot fake. And what a block there from Xavier Simpson. It's going to be a shot clock violation. Great defense there out of the timeout from Michigan with only 12 seconds on the shot clock, and Michigan defends very well for 12 seconds.
Yeah, Michigan's been dominating this game, but look for them now to kind of expand their lead and kind of coast into the victory.
Elon comes out in the man-to-man defense. Simpson looking for another cutting liver, is not there this time. Castleton in the game now, the sophomore, number 11. Castleton gets the ball down low, working on Poser. Spin, nice move there from Castleton. And he got Poser to jump up, and he takes advantage of that, throws it right under. And Colin Castleton, nice move there. The sophomore out of Daytona Beach, Florida. It's McIntosh, and it's going to be a illegal ball screen. Offensive foul, number 5, Poser. Michigan's bench has been calling for that all game. They finally got that one. Poser moving a little too early on that ball screen. Eli Brooks will bring it up for the Wolverines across the black M. Castleton up top. Gives to Livers, dribbles across. Livers cuts, not there. Simpson calls for a ball screen. Steps back, looks for the three, doesn't take it. Livers working on the corner on Irvin. Michigan playing against his 2-3 zone. Nice steal there from Hunter Woods. Almost stolen back there by Simpson. Kind of a lackluster transition offense there from Elon. Could have scored. It was a 3-on-2, but they'll bring it back. 20 left on the shot clock here. McIntosh, nice little shot fake, but Castleton not fooled, and he blocks it out of bounds. Colin Castleton using that really long wingspan to block that shot. He's going to be a good Michigan Wolverine for these years to come, playing behind John Teske, and I'm sure he'll take on a bigger role when Teske leaves after this year.
Yeah, use this year as more of a learn from Teske. And he's a skinny guy right now. You got to put some muscle on.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to John Teske learning under Mo Wagner the last few years. It ends up being a very, very good big. Simpson almost took the three, finds Brooks in the corner. Castleton down low again. And he's going to be called for a travel. Kind of lost his left pivot foot there. Michigan only 8 turnovers on the night. Make that 9 after that travel by Castleton. It's Woods in the corner. Dribbles left. Gets Castleton the jump there. And it's going to be a foul called. Hunter Woods will go to the line to shoot 2. Freshman from Pasadena, California. He's got good size. He's 6'6", 193. He can shoot the ball, and he can really go left or right. Natural left-handed player. Brandon Johns will check into this game, probably for Castleton. Or for Eli Brooks. So Michigan's going to go with a bigger offensive set here, or a bigger offensive lineup.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things with these non-conference games is you get to test to see which players work better with and which offense and defense you want to run.
Brandon Johns was a top 100 player out of East Lansing, decided to go to Michigan after, I believe, getting an offer from Michigan State. Didn't play too much last year, more of a role player, but his minutes will definitely see an uptick this year as a sophomore. Michigan playing against a 2-3 zone here. Elon comes out in. DeJulius looks for the three. Elon using active hands on defense. DeJulius in the corner, finds Simpson up top. Castleton looking for the ball in the middle of the zone. It's Livers on the right wing. Simpson takes a three in stride and just misses off the rim there. Almost went in. Would have been Simpson's third three of the game. Elon coming down the other end. And it's going to be McIntosh up top. Gives it to Wooten. Poser dribbles across the lane. Finds number 33, Simon Wright down low, working on Livers. Goes left, good defense by Livers. And nice rebound there from Castleton. Michigan going the other way. 58-44, 7-11 left in this one. Michigan leads it by 14. Livers jabs right, couldn't fool the Simon Wright on defense there. Gets the switch. Livers takes a three and knocks it down. Isaiah Livers, a much improved three-point shooter. Talk about his stroke a little bit, Amir. He's been so good from deep this year.
Yeah, you can tell he's been working on it this summer, and it's definitely showing right now.
Michigan man-to-man defense. Poser up top. Hands it off to McIntosh, who drives, shoots it right over DeJulius. Good defense by DeJulius, 2 possessions in a row.
Talking about Livers, it's great when you have a coach that's been in the NBA that has those kind of skills of, hey, this is what you need to do to be successful in the NBA.
Yeah, and that's definitely probably Juwan Howard's selling point in getting the job, and Warren Manuel ended up signing him, I think, to a 4-year deal. We'll see what he can do with Michigan basketball. David DeJulius hit the floater after a nice defensive possession by him. Michigan now up 63-44. Largest lead of the night for the Wolverines. Hunter Woods with the three up top, off the side of the backboard almost. An ugly-looking shot there from Woods.
This is that time right now, if you're the Wolverines, where did you learn anything from your Appalachian State second half meltdown, or? Yeah, we'll see.
DeJulius working on Woods. Gets a call from Howard. Looks like they're going to run a set here. 10 seconds left. Almost stripped there by Woods. Now 9 seconds. DeJulius flips to the other side. Livers almost fumbles on his feet there. Looking to step back. Woods comes over. Livers with a tough shot from outside, just outside, or just short. Kind of a poor possession there from the Wolverines. And Hunter Woods with the easy layup there. Looks like Livers kind of tripped on his feet there. Hunter Woods finishes, makes it a 63-46 game now. Elon just not going away. Another 2-3 zone for the Elon Phoenix. DeJulius takes a shot from the outside, no good. And here come the Phoenix the other way. It's McIntosh, steps back. Xavier Simpson, pretty good defense there, stopping the ball in transition. McIntosh misses the three. Nice box out there from Castleton.
Yeah, since Teskey's departure here with Castleton in, I don't think Elon really respects Castleton down low, so they could get the ball down, but.
Yeah, Teskey now out for about 4 or 5 minutes. Castleton taking advantage of these minutes here, doing his best to get his team a win here. 8 seconds on the shot clock. The Wolverines taking their time. Brandon Johns from outside, just short there. Pretty good shot selection. Castleton saves it, runs into the bench. Nice play there from Castleton. Good effort. That will bring us to immediate timeout after about 4 or 5 minutes of nonstop action there. 63-46, Michigan leads it. Elon not going away though. 17-point lead is not insurmountable in any shape or form in college basketball.
Yeah, right now the past couple of possessions by Michigan haven't really been the greatest. As we were talking about earlier, how they were patient, running down the shot clock, getting a good shot selection. The past couple of drives, not so much. Not so much. With Castleton in there instead of Teskey, the offense isn't running as good right now.
This is one of the teams that, as a Michigan Wolverine, you have to really prepare for, because they're going to switch defenses on you. So your point guard has to be ready to go to yell out what set you're in. Because Elon has played a 2-3, they played a 1-3-1. We've seen him in man defense. If the defense isn't going to be consistent, it's going to be hard for the offense to be consistent. And we haven't seen too much consistency out of this Michigan offense. In the Big Ten, typically it'll be man-to-man defense, and Michigan will probably utilize that fast-paced offense of theirs. But against some of these non-conference teams that are undersized, they're going to be throwing out a lot of defenses at you.
If I'm inside the Michigan huddle right now, I'm telling my team, stick to the game plan that we've been doing this whole entire game. We're under 5 minutes. Bring it home, right? Bring the shot clock down. Get a good quality possession. End this game early. On the other side, if you're in the Elon huddle, right now, you take possession by possession. Don't look at the scoreboard. Right now, you have to have the mentality that the game is tied, one possession at a time.
Yep.
On the defensive side, stop the ball, and then do your work on the offensive side. One possession at a time, and you'll get back into this game before you know it.
Sheffield with 22 points for the Phoenix, 9 for 16 from the field. Really efficient night there from the grad transfer. On the Michigan side, DeJulius 10 and Brooks 10. Teskey, I think, has 11. He's on the bench now. We'll see if he comes back into action after the media timeout. Livers with 9, 4 for 10 from the field. Johns with 3, Castleton with 2.
A big question for these Wolverines that I'm seeing right now going forward is when Teskey goes out, will Juwan Howard stick with a big man with Castleton in, or does he go small and have 5 guards out there? That's one big question he has to answer.
You know, and Howard is definitely a proponent of kind of the fluidity of all these positions. He likes these positionless players like Isaiah Livers. You know, he can play a guard, but he can also, you know, play defense down low. So I could definitely see Howard going with kind of 5 smaller or mid-sized players, and you don't need to bring in Castleton if he's not playing well or whatever the case may be. So if Teskey goes out, I could definitely see him going with a smaller lineup.
Yeah,
that was really not the case with Beeline. He wasn't, you know, he had his 5, he had his 4, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Michigan has a quality amount of guards on there, so it shouldn't be a problem.
No, not at all. 4:27 left, 20 on the shot clock. Michigan inbounds it from below the basket. And Livers has it. Him and Eli Brooks and David DeJulius in pink shoes tonight. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Livers drives baseline. Almost had a driving lane pass there from Simon Wright. And it's going to be a travel there. That's Castleton's second travel of the game. Michigan will go back on defense now.
So now for Elon, you accomplished your job on the defensive side. Now can you go down and do what you need to do on offense?
4:05 left. McIntosh has it. Looking to get an offensive set going here. Sheffield has 22 points tonight. It's going to work on Livers. Gets the ball screen. Loses it. Almost had a shot there. Now with 10 seconds left. Simon Wright in the corner. Finds Poser down low. Good hands there by Castleton to deny the post entry. And that will lead us into the 4th and final media timeout. In my opinion, basketball or college basketball needs to transition from a 4 media timeout half to a 3 media timeout. Instead of being 16-12, 8 and 4, I think 15, 10 and 5 will suffice.
Yeah, it just hurts the flow of the game.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the year, it'll probably balance out. You know, you'll probably be have the short end of the stick in terms of it's going to hurt your flow, but then it'll also, you know, in games where you're down, also kind of stop the game when you need it to. So it'll probably even out for all the teams at the end of the year in terms of, you know, hurting or helping your momentum. But just, you know, for the, you know, good nature of the game and for the enjoyment of the fans, these media timeouts really, really slow things down.
When do we love watching college basketball the most is when the two teams are going at each other for four minutes straight, just back and forth, no stoppage in play. That's when we love watching college basketball.
Yeah, and the media timeouts do kind of hinder that. You know, to have 4 half is just a lot, in my opinion.
But those are the contracts that you got to uphold.
Yeah, the media and the television do need their advertisement rights. As the fans here at Chrysler Center, a pretty good crowd tonight. Probably 75% full at max capacity.
Yeah, slowly growing since the Appalachian State game.
Yeah. Michigan has a few big marquee home games this year. Michigan State obviously later in the year. Oregon will come home or come to Chrysler Center in December. And then their Big Ten ACC Challenge will be away this year. It was home against UNC last year, which ended up being a great game, beating Kobe White, Roy Williams, and the Tar Heels. But this year they'll travel to Louisville, and they'll play at the KFC Yum Center. That should be a really fun one.
Yeah, Louisville in a kind of transition year in the past couple of years with Rick Pitino not being there anymore. So
the Big Ten ACC Challenge is always fun. They try to pair up some of the top-tier teams with the other top-tier teams. Michigan has drawn UNC the last 2 years. They'll get Louisville this year. Kind of unfortunate. You're never going to see Michigan play Duke. Duke kind of stays within Indiana. They play Michigan State a few times. I don't think Michigan has played Duke in probably 7 or 8 years. I think the last time was 2012 with Nick Stauskas and company traveling to Cameron Indoor. Michigan lost that one. 3:48 left here in the second half.
We'll probably see a couple of those games coming up here with the addition of Juwan Howard, and as he brings in those better recruits, and Michigan becomes that top-tier program in the country.
Yeah, for sure. Sheffield kicks it back out to McIntosh. Long on the three. It was a pretty good shot there. Simon Wright unable to garner the ball there. Had it below the basket. Probably could have gone up with it and scored. Fumbled it out of bounds. 17-point lead, 63-46. Michigan leads it.
Credit to Michigan for that defensive stop right there, burning the shot clock all the way down to
1
second.
Michigan's defense has been very good out of these timeouts tonight. Elon in a 1-2-2 zone. Michigan easily breaks it. Comes down the other way. Strong move there by Brandon Johns. Unable to finish. And Elon looked like they were about to give up a basket, and they were able to get back and contest that Brandon Johns shot. And here comes Teskey and Simpson for the first time since 7 or 8 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, Juwan Howard not taking any chances.
No.
Wants to close out this game on a good note. But yeah, going back to your comment about defenses burning the shot clock all the way down. That's the difference between good teams and elite teams. Can you do it on both sides of the court?
Yeah, for sure. 3:20 left. Simon Wright dribbles right, shoots up, and it's off the back rim. Rebound Brandon Johns, and Michigan will take its time here. Try to use up almost all 30 seconds of the shot clock. It looks like Elon is going to put in some subs here. Not sure if they're waving the white flag yet. Simpson throws it up. Teskey and one foul. Then how about that connection between Simpson and Teskey? Simpson just flips it up, and Teskey seems to be there at the right time every time.
Yeah, that duo is going to be huge for the Wolverines this year. We have the year of the duos in the NBA. Looks like we'll have a duo here in Ann Arbor.
And Teskey's play really started excelling, in my opinion, kind of midway through the season last season. He kind of had spurts in the 2017 season. He had a really good Big Ten championship game against Purdue, but last season he turned into a very good big, and you mentioned it earlier. It's because he developed that outside shot. People have to go out and guard him.
Yeah, and that's key. That's really key, is can you be a versatile player?
Yeah, and Teskey has definitely turned into one of those. It's going to be number 1, Chuck Hanna. Misses the shot. Rebound Brandon Johns again. 66-46, 20-point lead for Michigan. 2:30 left here in the second half. Michigan looking to close this one out and go to 3-0 over the Elon Phoenix. Simpson, one dribble, step back, misses the three. Brandon Johns there, almost got the offensive rebound.
Not a bad shot by Xavier Simpson right there.
Simpson 1 for 6 from 3 this game. Not as good as he's been. He's definitely developed that three-point shot, but early in the shot clock, not sure about that shot selection in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he just had an open shot that he didn't want to miss.
No. Hanna up top. Here's Sheffield, that's McIntosh, who's working on Brooks. Wooten misses the three, rebound Simpson. 2 minutes left, and looks like they're going to bring this one back and not use a transition offense. Cole Badgema will check in for the Wolverines, the next dead ball. The true freshman. Teskey gets it from Simpson. Brandon Johns on the far side wing. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Brandon Johns missed the cut there. Looks like it's going to be Brooks. 3 seconds left. Goes to Brandon Johns. Takes almost an ill-advised shot there. They almost brought it too far down the shot clock. And it's going to be a minute 20 left. Elon going the other way, down 20.
You're up by 20, so it's not a big deal at the current moment. But later on in the season, when you're only up by 5, if you're Coach Juwan Howard, you definitely don't want that.
Definitely a better shot, in my opinion, was available. I think they could have moved it to the other side and found Livers instead of Johns. And Juwan Howard will get a timeout here to get his 2 substitutions in. It'll be Castleton and Badgema. Not a very exciting second half. A few spurts here and there. But the play by John Teskey the second half was really impressive. Only 5 points in the first half. He has 11 in the second half. He's just so good down low, and he's just bigger than every other player, and he takes advantage of that size.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the film of Michigan, there's only so much you can really do to prepare for Tuskegee. And as the bigger teams get there and they start taking on the Wolverines, you got to be able to not just rely on Tuskegee the whole time, but also rely on your guards, develop that three-point shot. And the Wolverines under Beeline were known for their deep shots. They lived and died by the three.
Yeah.
So with Juwan Howard, does he kind of stick with that tactic of Beeline? Because these are Beeline's guys in the end.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Or does he kind of try to pull him away from that?
That's the story of transitioning coaches. It's going to be interesting. You know, the program is at an inflection point. It's going to be fun to watch. C.J. Baird, the walk-on, the junior, checks into the game for the Wolverines. Badgema's in too. Here's C.J. in the corner. C.J. looking to shoot. Spins, nothing there. And he makes the turnaround floater. C.J. Baird, he hit a 3 in the Sweet 16 2 years ago, and that's where he got his name on the board there. And now he makes another shot here over the undersized Simon Wright. What a play there by C.J. Baird. That's exciting.
Created something out of nothing.
Yeah, it looks like he was locked down there, and he kind of just throws it up there with his left hand and finishes.
It's that hook shot.
It is. Castleton finds Brandon Johns. The offense really clicking late in the game here. Nice little high-low action there from Castleton and Brandon Johns. 20 seconds left. McIntosh takes a shot, hits it over Castleton. Pretty well contested there. That makes it 70-50, and Michigan's going to dribble this one out and move to 3-0. A better second half, in my opinion. Really slow start for the Wolverines, but they're able to overcome that slow start. They pick it up offensively. They're able to figure out this Elon defense, which seems to switch. And Michigan moved to 3-0. The Elon Phoenix will move to 2-2. And a very exciting game in the second half for the Wolverines. C.J. Baird scored. John Teske got it going. Michigan's 3-0, baby.
Yeah, and it's expected that Michigan should be 3-0. The win against Creighton was pretty big, and that'll probably come in hand when it comes tournament time and selection to see what seed Michigan gets. But since the Appalachian State game, these Wolverines are slowly starting to figure out what offense Juwan Howard wants to run and kind of settling into it. They had a little bit of a hiccup against Appalachian State in the second half, but they had a good game against Creighton. Tonight, they came out a little bit slow, but then came out and really, once they were up by 10, they did not look back at all.
Michigan will play Houston Baptist here at the Chrysler Center at 7 p.m. next Friday, November 22nd, and then they'll travel down to Atlantis for their Thanksgiving tournament. They'll open up against Iowa State on Wednesday, November 27th at noon on ESPN, and then play the winner of Alabama, North Carolina. Some good games coming up. Michigan moves to 3-0. Really good play all around, in my opinion. Held Elon, a pretty good offensive team, to 50 points. Sheffield threw up 22. We kind of expected that, but you look at the other scores, only 6, 4, 4, and 2 for the starters of Elon. Michigan having a pretty good game defensively, in my opinion.
So after the Houston Baptist game, I believe they take on Iowa the following week here at Chrysler, December 6th.
Yes, that'll be the first Big Ten game of the year, starting a little earlier as they move to the 20-game schedule of the Big Ten.
Yeah,
Michigan will definitely have to be ready for that one.
Yeah, that'll be Michigan's first big test of the season, and then obviously Oregon here at Chrysler.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that will do it for us. For Amir Beckes, Zach Corson, and Dan Levine, who had the first half. My name is Jack Molino. Thank you for tuning into WCBN Sports. It was a fun one tonight. Michigan wins at 70-50, moves to 3-0. We'll play Houston Baptist next Friday. Thank you for listening. We got coverage of the Michigan football game tomorrow at noon against Michigan State on our YouTube page, WCBN Sports. Once again, thank you for listening in. My name is Jack Molino. Thank you for listening. We'll leave you with a good night and go blue.